I genuinely believed I could not stop drinking. Not one day, not 1 week, not ever. But today, I've been sober for 5 years. And what finally worked is not what I thought it would. Let me show you what actually changed. Hi, I'm Alex, the Sober Dad. I'm here to help you reclaim your life and become the man, the husband, the father that you know you want to be. If you're waking up every day thinking, today it has to be different, you know how frustrating it feels when the day ends up exactly the same way it did yesterday with drinking. Another broken promise, another time you said to yourself, this time will be different, but it happened again the exact same way. You go through the day anxious, foggy, irritable, putting a brave face on the outside, but on the inside, feeling like shit and beating yourself over it. You wonder why life feels so heavy and why stress keeps piling up, and then why alcohol feels like the only thing that can help you to shut it off. And the worst part is that you now believe that you are the problem. If you were only stronger, more disciplined, smarter, you could beat this thing. And this makes you feel bad about yourself. I know that place because I was there for a very long time. And in a minute, I will tell you what made things shift. I'm sorry to say that things had to get really bad for me to really get to the point where I said I had to change. And I would hate for you to have to get to this point for you to realize that change is possible. So let me tell you what happened. I signed up for an intensive outpatient program, or an IOP, at the request of my wife because she was all over me. She got tired of finding me drunk in the couch in the middle of the night and all the arguments and all the lying that I was doing about drinking so much, all of this stuff. So I signed up for this, if nothing else, just to show her that I was doing something about it. Because I knew that she was at her wit's end and she was really, really stressed out about this. And at first, I hated it. I thought, I have nothing in common with these people. I'm actually a lot more messed up. And who are these people that they don't know anything about me? I didn't want to talk to strangers. I didn't want to open up, and I didn't think that people would just understand what I was going through. But here's what made me stay. I was really scared because I was doing a lot of stupid stuff. And my life was spiraling down, and I could see exactly where I was headed if nothing changed. I was gonna hurt myself, I was gonna hurt somebody while driving under the influence, or I was gonna end up in jail somewhere. In essence, I was going to destroy my life, and this became unacceptable. So I stayed. And then something unexpected happened. I started seeing myself and listening myself through the voice of others. The same fear, the same shame, the same crazy experiences and patterns of behavior. But instead of judgment, there was honesty, there was openness, there was compassion for a shared problem that we were experiencing. That's when I realized something important, and this is what most people miss. But what about you? Have you ever felt this sense of overwhelm, exhaustion, stress, and then just alcohol to deal with it? Drop a comment below. I read each one of them. So here's what changed. And I will start with the practical stuff first, right? So the first thing was to change my routine, because I had a daily routine that supported daily drinking. I had made space in my life. I allowed myself to drink every night, and I had allocated a chunk of time for drinking. So the first thing was to get rid of that. I filled my life with activities that did not promote me drinking. I started to wake up early and go for a morning walk. I stayed engaged with my work projects, and I actually looked for more responsibilities. I picked up my guitar that I hadn't touched in years, and started strumming again. And I started to pick up those activities and hobbies that I enjoyed that did not involve drinking and start doing them again and allocating time every week and every day for some of this. I started to go to bed early and not watch TV because watching TV late at night was a trigger for me to drink. Second, I leaned on support, but this time really leaned on the IOP group, on my wife, having these hard, honest conversations that were really difficult, but were very necessary and took this load off my shoulders. So I decided that I was not going to do this by myself, and I was going to rely on the people who care about me and who really understood where I was coming from. Because I was talking to people who had been there and done that and had more experience than what I had, and I could learn from them. Third, I started writing down my thoughts instead of letting them spiral out of control in my head. I started putting my thoughts into paper so I could look at what it is that I was feeling and thinking, and this helped me to feel a lot less stressed. And I stopped asking, why am I like this? Why do I have this problem? To what do I need to do today to get better? And how do I get better? Those were a lot more important questions to answer than the whys. Because asking for why had kept me stuck for a very long time. But most importantly, my recovery became top priority. Not my work, not my external appearance and how I show myself to others, not comfort, but getting better became my top priority. And I acquired an attitude of doing whatever it took. Now, this is what surprised me. After joining this IOP group and decided that I will open myself to do whatever it took, I stopped drinking. Now, my life was still the same. The stress was still there. The anxiety was still there. My life problems were still there. That didn't go away. But I stopped drinking because I had made the decision to stop, truly made the decision to stop, and started living intentionally and taking it day by day, not worrying about like a month or a year from now, just today. I had to not drink today. And lo and behold, I didn't drink. Within weeks, life felt softer, more stable, and my anxiety went down once the alcohol was out of the picture, because I thought drinking helped me to feel less anxious, but it actually increased my anxiety after a long night of drinking. Over the next few months, things started to click and fall in place, some slowly, some fast. It wasn't a breakthrough moment, but it was a process of change based on a strong foundation. I didn't learn tactics, but I learned tools to help me manage those strong emotions and that helped me to tackle those strong cravings for drinking in the beginning. And I got myself back. I started believing that actually I could do this, that I could not drink if I didn't want to drink. I started to believe that change was possible, and I started to concentrate in bigger goals, things that I wanted to do with my life. My health improved. Now I wasn't tired all the time, hangover with headaches, all dried up. I moved more. I worked out, and I showed up differently to people. And one of the biggest wins was my relationship with my wife improved dramatically because her stress level went down and she started to trust me again, little by little. That took a little while, but her trust in me came back, and that was precious. And this is when I realized something very important, that this wasn't just about quitting alcohol. What actually changed everything was that now I had built a framework that helped me to stabilize myself emotionally, reduce overwhelm, and live my life with intention. And that is what eventually became the Sober Now framework, which basically is a condensation of everything that I've learned in the past 5 years that has helped me to turn my life around and reclaim those things that I had lost and become the father and the man and the husband that I wanted to be. And if you're wondering, could this work for me? Let me tell you who's this for. If life feels overwhelming and you feel that your emotional pain is high and getting higher, if you're sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, then the Sober Now framework might be a better way for you too. But it's not for everybody. If you're just looking for a quick fix or just quick tactics, then this is not going to work. If you're not ready to take serious action and do whatever it takes, then this is not for you. So if you want to stop drinking or at least reduce it significantly and start living according to what you really believe in and what you want to do with your life, then this is what will be possible for you. Less stress, less anxiety, a renewed sense of purpose, stronger relationships with the people that you really care about, and most important, a return of your self-confidence and your self-esteem. And I've created a free resource for you to try, which I call the Sober Now Reset Method. 5 tools to stop stress, anger, and overwhelm. Grab it below and start using these tools today. No pressure, no commitment. Just check it out and see if this could be your way forward. You don't have to have everything figured out. You just need to take the next right step. So grab the free resource. I know you'll find it very useful. If you want to learn how to deal with strong urges and cravings to drink alcohol, check out this video I made just for that. This is Alex Rivera, the Sober Dad. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.